round of enhanced community quarantine in the NCR Plus bubble. Let's take a look at the latest situation around the metro. As the government imposes tighter restrictions in the capital region, the Octa research team notes a drop in the COVID-19 reproduction rate in Metro Manila. The United Kingdom will be blocking the entry of travelers from the Philippines due to emerging variants of concern. And the manufacturer of anti-parasitic drug Ivermectin finally breaks its silence on the supposed use of the pill against COVID-19. And even the drug maker says there's no scientific basis for such claim. And the original videoke game show Singaling finally returns on the Kapatid Network tonight. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know this 5th of April 2021. I'm Jess De Los Santos. Week 2 of the ECQ and NCR Plus begins today. But for many employees, it's just a normal manic Monday. But how are commuters dealing with the limited passenger capacity in public transportation? Let's check out the updates from Justine Punsalang. She's reporting from the MRT North Avenue station.
Just the LRT lines 1, 2, and MRT 3 are all back in operation this morning after the Holy Week break, which they use for maintenance activities. But because of the second week of ECQ and the NCR Plus bubble, the passenger capacity remains to be limited. Both LRT 1 and 2 started operating at 5 in the morning. MRT North EDSA had an earlier start at 4:37 a.m. while Taft EDSA resumed operations at 5:15. Meanwhile, the last trip for MRT North EDSA will be at 9:30 tonight and 10:10 p.m. for Taft Avenue. 10 to 12 trains are expected to run for MRT's operation today. But each train car can only carry 124 passengers or 372 per train following the limited 30% passenger capacity. To aid commuters, the EDSA Carousel Bus Augmentation Program will continue with stops at North EDSA, Quezon Avenue, Camunin, Santolan, Ortigas, and Guadalupe. The MRT management also announced that they will be using Trace app for passengers' contact tracing. Meanwhile, since the start of ECQ last week, the PNP launched Libreng Sakay to help commuters who are suffering from the limited public transportation. Currently, there are 4 main routes that NCRPO is offering: Bicutan-Toge to Magallanes and back, Magallanes to SM Mega Mall and back, SM Mega Mall to SM North EDSA and back, and SM North EDSA to Monumento and back. Local police stations are also offering free rides for their constituents in light of the limited passenger capacity for jeepneys. Besides the free rides, the police also distribute health kits containing face masks and face shields.
The Octa Research Group reveals that the COVID-19 reproduction number in Metro Manila has dropped to 1.65 from almost 2 back in March. Now, during their weekend briefing, Octa explained that the R0 may further drop to 1.09 in the second week of April now that the ECQ bubble is extended. However, the group clarified that the number of cases will continue to rise despite enforcing lockdowns.
The ECQ took a few days to drop mobility to the 77% below baseline that we saw on April 1st. It will take us another week before we know the full effect. And the reason for that is that it takes 5 to 7 days for someone who has been infected with COVID-19 to manifest symptoms. So usually it takes 5 to 7 days for a case to be registered by the DOH.
Manila Mayor Isco got his first dose of Sinovac yesterday. This is after President Rodrigo Duterte gave the green light for mayors and governors in high-risk areas to get vaccinated. NTF Deputy Chief Implementer Vince Dizon said local chief executives in critical areas are now considered frontline health workers. Dizon added that critical areas are not exclusive within the NCR Plus bubble. This development will not affect the investigation into those local officials who skipped the vaccination line before they were allowed to. Moreno said he got himself vaccinated with Sinovac to assure his constituents that it is safe and effective. More mayors are expected to follow suit. The manufacturer behind Ivermectin says there is no basis for using the drug as COVID-19 treatment. Merck said data culled from its clinical studies does not support theories about the safety and efficacy of Ivermectin as COVID treatment. There is a raging debate in the country about the possible use of Ivermectin in COVID-19 patients. Health authorities from the DOH and the FDA have been warning against its use, but there are still some doctors swearing by its effectiveness. To settle the debate once and for all, here are some of notable results of Merck's clinical findings. First, there is no scientific basis for a potential therapeutic effect against COVID-19. Second, no meaningful evidence for clinical activity or clinical efficacy among patients with COVID-19. Third, there is a concerning lack of safety data in the majority of studies. In a nutshell, the drug maker is saying there is not enough proof that anti-parasitic drug could be effective against COVID-19. The UK government has added the Philippines to its travel red list to prevent the arrival of possible vaccine-resistant variants of COVID-19. The British government has also imposed travel restrictions from Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Kenya. The travel ban will be enforced starting Friday, April 9. The addition of these countries brings the number of red list nations to 39. However, ministers have rejected the idea of widening the list to include European countries where a third wave of COVID-19 infections is ongoing. Pope Francis is urging countries to fast-track the distribution of COVID-19 vaccines during his Easter message on Sunday. After reading his Urbi et Orbi at the St. Peter's Basilica, the Pope addressed governments to hasten the rollout of vaccines, especially to the poor.
Le persone più fragili hanno bisogno di assistenza e hanno diritto di avere accesso alle cure necessarie. Ciò è ancora più evidente in questo tempo in cui tutti siamo chiamati a combattere la pandemia e i vaccini costituiscono uno strumento essenziale per questa lotta. Nello spirito di un internazionalismo dei vaccini, esorto pertanto l'intera comunità internazionale a un impegno condiviso per superare i ritardi nella loro distribuzione e favorirne la condivisione, specialmente con i paesi più poveri.
Pope Francis also called for peace in several conflict areas. He also criticized military spending amid a public health crisis.
È ancora in pieno corso. La crisi sociale ed economica è molto pesante, specialmente per i più poveri. Malgrado questo, ed è scandaloso, non cessano i conflitti armati e si rafforzano gli arsenali militari. Il 4 aprile ricorre la giornata mondiale contro le mine antiuomo, subdoli e orribili ordigni che uccidono o mutilano ogni anno molte persone innocenti e impediscono all'umanità di camminare assieme sui sentieri della vita senza temere le insidie di distruzione e di morte. Come sarebbe meglio un mondo senza questi strumenti di morte?
After 16 long years, the iconic TV5 game show Singaling is staging a comeback. TV5 is relaunching its highly successful video reality game show with a pilot episode set to run tonight at 6:30 p.m. In the new version of the game show, each episode will feature 3 contestants, aka Singtestants, who will battle it out in 3 rounds of karaoke singing. The songs will be chosen randomly for each contestant. They will also play a bonus round where contestants will sing to a randomly selected song with some missing lyrics. During the karaoke rounds, the game show's signature animated genie will appear on screen to strike a gong when a contestant goes out of tune or misses a lyric. The new show is hosted by Sing Master Randy Santiago and comedians Donita Nos and Kay Brosas, along with singers Ray Valera, Ronnie Liang, and Jessa Zaragoza as the judges. The show will offer viewers a nightly session filled with kantawanan prior to TV5's primetime series lineup. Watch this.
Gusto mong makilala, magsingaling ka, singaling. Pag-uwi mo may premyo pa, magsingaling ka, singaling. Sing ikaw, sing ako, sing ka, sing ko, singaling. Sing ikaw, sing ako, sing ka, sing ko, singaling. Singaling, singaling.
And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us later at 12 noon as we monitor the day's biggest stories from sunrise to sundown. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Jess De Los Santos. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.